sorry, that's for a Democrat show.
Let me know when you're ready.
Was an extremely great conservative commentator. We're tearing it up on Wednesday night. This is awesome. This
will allow me to retort.
Well, this is Jersey Joe for the Reaver of Common Sense show. I'm on shrmedia.com.
Actually, I just totally screwed up. This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show. And welcome to the Reaver of Common Sense. I'm your host, Jersey Joe, and I'm here to make sense out of the senseless. The Jersey Takeover is here, and we have expanded to 2 hours every Monday through Friday, 9 p.m. to 11 p.m., as long as Comcast lets me on the fucking internet. If you want to watch a broadcast, just go to shrmedia.com. And, well, if you don't want to go there, I don't know what's wrong with you, but if you don't, you can always watch the show 2 other ways. You got Facebook and you got YouTube. Just go there, search SHR Media. Dun, dun, dun. Click on the like/subscribe button and stay up to date on all the great shows. So, where have I been for over the last week? Well, let's say it has something to do with fucking Comcast. They suck. Their support sucks. So, a couple weeks ago, about a month ago now, I was sent an upgraded router, or gateway, whatever they want to call it, modem, whatever. And, so, there was nothing wrong with my internet. My internet was going good, you know. And then, they send this to me, so I install it. And, next thing I know, I start having a lot of problems. My show was down a couple of days because of it. They rushed me a new gateway. I put it in. Things got a little bit better. Then things went downhill from there. I mean, I'd be on my tablet, and all of a sudden it would pop up. I mean, you've been disconnected from the network. You're switching over to mobile. What the fuck? Within range. I'd go to Wi-Fi. Click on the internet. Poof, right back in it. And it was my hardwire, too. The internet was, like, in and out. And talk about slow. If you know anything about the internet, my upload... What was it, my upload? I forget which one's which. Let me see. Speedtestxfinity.com. I just want to see which one comes first. The chicken or the egg. And it's... The download speed was 8 or 9. And the upload was like 2, just below 3. Crap speeds. And they kept kicking me off. So I couldn't get on. I couldn't do the show. Pissing me off. So I called Comcast. Not this Friday that just passed. December 1st. You know, I explained to them, listen, you already sent me 2 modems. Nothing. And I haven't been able to do my show for a couple days, and this is bullshit. Guy tells me, oh, we're putting a priority rush on it. We'll get you another one, and this should correct the problem, yada, 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 yada. So, expecting like Monday, Tuesday, the router to show up, gateway, whatever they want to call it. Nothing. Okay, Wednesday, Thursday, nothing. Thinking Friday, it's got to come Friday. Nothing. Like, fuck. Even if it comes Monday, I got to do some work on it to get everything up and running and make sure. So I call. I'm like, what the heck's going on? Or actually, I don't call. I go online. And that's what I did the Friday before. I went online with their support. Like I said, I got my tablet uses both the internet, a Wi-Fi, and a cellular connection. So it's my go-to whenever I need something, because if the internet at home doesn't work, who gives a shit? It switches over to the mobile. So I call the guy, or I get on chat support. Now, the cable is in my wife's name, technically. And this pisses me off all the time. Because I sure as hell tell you, if they wanted to collect the bill, they would come to me. But when it comes talking, yeah. So I'm going through the support, and, oh, well, you're going to need to send you a new router. And this is going to priority shipment because we don't see where you talk to support on December 1st. No, there's no router being sent to you. We don't know what you're talking about. But because what's going on, we'll send you another one. And I'm like, what the whoa, time out. What do you mean there's no, none was sent to me? I went to my, I'm on my cell phone, and they have to send you text messages now to approve orders, even if they're replacing your gateway. I'm like, listen, I'm looking at the order, the email I got, or excuse me, the text message that got sent to me that I had to approve. I don't know what to tell you, but we're going to send you one on rush delivery. Okay. But we need to talk to your wife. You're not on the account, so you can't approve this. I was like, all right. That point, Jersey temper, full on. It doesn't convey that good when you're on fucking chat and you're typing away. Except for the fuck this, fuck that, fuck this, fuck Comcast, fuck. My temper's going. And I'm telling them, you don't even know who the fuck you're talking to. We're on chat. Well, we need to talk to her. It's 12 o'clock at night. My wife's in bed. I'm not waking her up for her to come out and say, yes, you can talk to my husband. Fuck that. I'm like, void my contract. I don't care. Just, I'm tired of Comcast. There's crap TV service here. You know, everybody has on demand, you know, with all these internet, cable and dish. You have on demand. You have all these packages. We have all these options. Well, my housing development was built in 2003, I think, or 2004. And it was Adelphia that was in here first. And they put the system in. And when I bought my house in 2007, Comcast had just bought out Adelphia. I'm going, great. I just came from New Jersey, had Comcast all my life. I'm thinking, oh, it's going to be so great. It's so great to have Comcast. Yeah. I don't have on-demand. I have crap for high-definition channels. No, like, I don't have CNN, MSNBC, or Fox, you know, on high definition. Not that I watch them, but if I want to go to kind of like, because there's breaking news, like what happened today, I can't go to high definition and watch it. Why? Because, well, Comcast sucks. And what's going on is that system that they put in when this housing development was originally built, and then Comcast bought it out. Now, it's not a huge development, and they're not big in the Hillsborough County area right now. So their idea is, why are we going to spend all this money to upgrade your development when we're not in your area that big? And it's like, well, then why the fuck did you go and buy into an area? And what I think's happened, we're losing channels by channel by channel, because I think they're having trouble doing a backwards compatibility, trying to make it so that these broadcasts work on this older crap system. So I'm livid Friday night. So I said, you know what, fuck this, I'm calling up and I'm going to bitch someone out. So I call and I get a hold of somebody. They answer, hey, and I unload on them. I want my contract voided, and fuck this, I'm tired of Comcast. And here it is. There's this female on the other end of the line. Okay, sir, let me see. I want to help you. We're going to take care of you. And this nice, calming, not to sound sexist, but she had a sexy voice, too. And she wasn't flirty or anything. She just had this very sexy voice. And it was very soothing. And I'm going, fuck. And we're talking after a couple minutes, and I'm explaining what went on. She's like, well, let me see what's going on in your internet. I'm going to try to fix that. and then we'll look at the other issue. I turned around to her and I said, you know what? This isn't fair. And she's like, sir, what do you mean it's not fair? I said, you have such a calming voice that I can't be pissed off anymore. And she lets out this little snicker and just like, I know, I do it on purpose. Now, I was telling my wife the story before I went on air, or yesterday or whatever, and she does customer support too for some, I forget which company. And she goes, yeah, she does it all the time. She uses her feminine voice, and she talks nice and calm. Sir, let me try to handle it. I can't say much. I don't have the feminine voice, but I did phone support for computers at one time. One of the worst jobs I've ever done. Oh, I hated it. But I wasn't super bad at it. And I'd have people calling in, cussing and screaming, sir, just give me a chance. I understand. I know why you're pissed. And I agree 100% why you're pissed. I would be screaming and yelling. In fact, I have been you, sir, plenty of times. Can you just give me one chance? And if not, I'm going to bump this up to someone that knows better than me. I'm giving you God's honest answer. And if I don't know it, I'm going to tell you I don't know it. And usually, fuck. The only one that wouldn't talk to me was this woman she called in. I'm at my friend's apartment, and I'm trying to get on the Wi-Fi. Okay, what's the issue? Well, I can't get on it. All right. Go try taking her through the steps because she paid for the extra service. I said, you need to put the password in there. We don't know the password. So, you know, you're going to have to go to your friend. After about 10 minutes of this, she finally goes, it's not my friend, it's the neighbor next door. I'm trying to get into their internet. I'm at a hotel and they want to charge extra, so I'm trying to get someone else's internet. I said, shit, ma'am, I you know, as much as I sympathize with that, there's nothing I can do. Why not? I paid all this extra money. She's going off. I'm like, ma'am, what you're trying to get me to do is hack in to someone else's internet and steal their internet. That is against the law. I can't do that. And she's going on and on. I said, ma'am, as much as I sympathize, there's nothing I can do for you. You know, and then she hangs up, so I note it. I didn't know it, but I had a supervisor listening in on that phone call and immediately came over to my desk. It's like, you handled that perfect. You didn't get pissed off. You didn't accuse them. You just said, this is what's going on, and because of the laws, you couldn't do it, yada, yada. Next thing you know, he gets a buzzer. The lady called back immediately, got another tech, and some kind of alert went off, and he ran over, told the other person, looked at my notes, and, you know, she was all pissed. I want to cancel my account. Now, I'm pissed off because my internet's not working. So that's why she's all nice and calm. And we're on the phone for a while, and she's like, I'm going to try one last thing. Because she did some settings and all that, and I'm like, you're not going to like this. We went backwards, and we're slower than we were. You know, she dropped it down to like 8 megabytes download and 2 on the upload. She's like, oh, yeah, we're going backwards. She's like, all right, I got a Hail Mary. This last thing I could try. She goes, this is the very last thing, and I don't like doing it. So, okay, whatever, do what you got to do. And we're, for a while, it's going on. And all of a sudden, she's like, can you do me a favor and run the test again? And I'm just, like, 30 seconds before that I was playing around, and I didn't have a connection. Okay. Hit it. Poof, 89. I'm like, oh. It was like 15 or 16, I think, on the upload. I'm like, oh, yeah. She's like, whatever it was, that Hail Mary worked. She goes, oh, I did a factory reset. I'm like, Jesus Christ, thank you. And then she's like, well, we got to find out what's going on. I'm like, hey, you know what? You got my internet fixed. And she's like, no, I don't want you getting charged for gateway because they lost it. I'm like, ooh, good point. Thank you very much. I was just like, son of a bitch. Now, instead, when I did the initial call, I got someone that didn't know, probably was low-level support, and didn't know what the hell they were doing. Well, there's my coffee. So, I've been playing with it over the weekend, the internet. It's been working great. Looks like I'm doing good. Looks can be deceiving. What the hell? So, other than that, I also took the time again to kind of step away. I've been doing a lot of wood stuff. Been working on a butcher block cutting board for my mother-in-law. You know, it's not nothing major, and it's a slow work in progress. I know it should have been done real quick, but it's... Hang on a minute. Let's see if this is... Sounds good to me. Sounds like the broadcast is doing to me. I know that you're going to hear a repeat of what I said a couple minutes ago. I know it could have been probably been done in like 2-3 days, this butcher block. But what I did is I got some, what is it, East Indian rosewood, the oak, and my wife is like, we need to add something else in. And so I decided I threw in, I think they're what, 1/8, quarter inch zebra wood. So I'm in the process of putting everything together, and I'm waiting for equipment because I know my joints aren't perfectly straight right now because I don't have a planer yet and all that. I've been playing around with doing some other stuff, but how I put things together before doing it, I want to put those little pegs in. I can't think of the technical term, so I'm waiting on some. Damn it. I should have been going to bed early. So I want to put those in. I'm waiting for a tool that was supposed to show up today. That was the other bitch. I called up to Amazon because I paid for next day air for this thing. It said, if you order within this amount of time, we'll have it there by Monday if you pay this. I said, okay, I want it here Monday. I want to get this project going. Go look today. It's delayed. Well, it says, it's getting done for Tuesday. Whoa, 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 whoa. Paid close to $20. I know some people that's nothing. That's something to me. So I looked at one other item, and it was supposed to be here today. And I paid for it to be here today. It's not here. So I call up, their customer service, and I got some. He says his name is Chris. It didn't sound like Chris to me. And he starts giving me all these excuses. Well, this is a third party. It was low on stock. We had to have the company send us this. And it'll be there Wednesday. I'm like, whoa, now it's not going to be here till Wednesday? I paid for it to be here today. Yeah. Well, you see, I said, no. I paid for it to be here today. All I'm asking for is the refund on the shipping. I think that's very level-headed of me and fair. You didn't get it here. I paid to have it here on a certain day. He's like, I got to put you on hold. After a couple minutes, comes back. Well, I looked into it, and when you ordered it, it said item was low in stock, limited stock. Limited stock does not mean you're out, asshole. He's like, well, when it's limited stock, there's a chance you might not get it on the day you want it. Because it might have to be shipped from a supplier to us to get delivered. And he's like, well, so you can't expect. I said, I'm thinking to myself, bullshit. Your site says it's going to be here, and he's giving me all these fucking excuses. It's starting to really piss me off, and I'm about to just go at him. And he's like, but this one time, I'm going to refund. I just wanted to say, no, not just this one time. You guys screwed up. It just pissed me off. The guy was acting like I'm asking for something that is not due to me when I paid extra to have it here. So I'm like, son of a bitch. So my woodworking's pushed off. So probably Saturday. I'll wait to finish that up on. So that's what I've been doing and why I have been on air. And it's been pissing me off. Thank God Sackhead Sean, Sackhead Clint are very understanding people. You know, I love those two, not just because of this, but I mean, they're great people. But they understand, and they had the issue with Comcast out there, so it's not just me. All right, we're going to head to commercial. You're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio, and we will be right back.
Done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
You have been listening to Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch Reaver of Common Sense show hosted by Jersey Joe right here on shrmedia.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else. So consider this your fair warning.
Hello, I'm Tim Hart. I'm the guy BZ hires, due to his shameless contract with the SHR Media Network, to voice his promos. He'd like me to tell you that the Bloviating Zeppelin's Berserk Bobcat Saloon radio show can be found on SHR Media Network, Spreaker, and YouTube every Tuesday and Thursday night at 11 p.m. Eastern and 8 p.m. Pacific, featuring right thinking from a left brain and doing the job the American media maggots won't. You'll find that the speech is free, but the drinks are not. There, in the saloon, just when safety pin manufacturers are running out of metal for the diapers of the leftists, BZ is sending his personal drones of freedom into the wheelhouses and ossicles of lovers of sovereignty and liberty nationally and globally. Broadcasting behind enemy lines in occupied California, BZ swears that no rights were harmed in the making of this promo. In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. You didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean.
Dude, I'm not saying cap for the stupid program.
Sackhead Clint.
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
Also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, 'cause I'm drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on shrmedia.com.
Hey, it's Sean from the Sackheads Radio Show, also one of the owners here at the SHR Media Network. Are you opinionated? Have you ever wanted to do your own show? Have you ever heard somebody like the Sackheads and go, yeah, I could probably do that better? Well, now's your chance. Send me a 5-minute clip at sackheadsradio@gmail.com, and maybe you can be part of the SHR broadcasting team. sackheadsradio@gmail.com.
This is Jersey Joe, host of the Reaver of Common Sense, and you're listening to shrmedia.com.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
Human by race, Christian by faith, American by nationality, and conservative by choice. Reverend Ralph J. Chittum Sr. is the right guy on SHR Media from 8:05 to 9 p.m. Monday through Friday. And if on the rare occasion I am ever wrong, I will still always be right. The right guy on SHR Media.
Listening to the SHR Media Network.
You're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense here on the SHR Media Network. Hey, Sean, you ever see a one-eared elephant?
No.
Check this out.
Oh, that's so tiny.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show. And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense show. I'm your host, Jersey Joe. So what have I missed? Well, today, of course, you had the attempted attack in New York. So I was just thinking of someone put up a video. They were showing the actual incident that happened of the guy walking through a corridor and his bomb going off. And it says, when you Allah without your Akbar. We'll be seeing him working with Jeff Dunham very soon. Premature detonation. You know they make the pill for that. I tell you. I don't know what they're thinking. It's not going to end up good for these assholes. And for those that don't know, a gentleman went walking into a bus terminal in New York Port Authority bus terminal, during rush hour this morning. And while he had a bomb strapped to him that was supposed to go off in a different area, it malfunctioned. It went off early. I think there's like 3 people that have some burns from it. The bomb, whatever he was using, did not, thank God, it wasn't anything major. I mean, I would put it to like a major firecracker, like maybe an M80 or something. It was big. It was loud. It scared the shit out of some people. It was a terrorist attack. It was an attempt. Thank God the guy was inept. What really pisses me off is New York Post, I think it is. New York Post, New York Times, New York Post. Brooklyn man sets off explosive. They don't tell you that this Brooklyn man is from Bangladesh, is a Muslim, has admitted this was an ISIS-inspired attack. They love to admit all that. They love to admit that, and thank God for Trump and what's been going on with his going after this immigration stuff. We learned with the lottery system that they have a chain migration afterwards. And what that is you get in by luck, not because you're going to be better in America, not because of any other reason than you won a lottery ticket to get you in the country. So you come in, and now your whole family gets to come in because you're here. That's how this guy got here. He got in here because of chain migration. Not because this guy wanted to be here. He came here because, well, he wanted to do us harm. Yes, he lived in Brooklyn. But New York Post, I just love how they omit a lot of the information from their title to make it seem like it's just some random bullshit attack. The guy was 27 years old, and it has been classified as a terrorist attack on New York. They just got hit recently. If you remember, there was the, what was it, the truck? The vehicle running down people in the bike path. And then ISIS put up ads. Well, not ads, but they were promoting that they were going to attack New York. And then this happens. But, of course, now you have these libtards. That, it's Trump's fault. It's Trump's fault this attack happened. Not that they threatened to do this several weeks ago. Not that they declared war on us a couple of years ago. But because Trump decided that he was going to move our embassy from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem and acknowledge that Jerusalem is the capital of Israel. That's why this guy did an ISIS attack against us. Do you know how fucking retarded that sounds coming out of their mouth? Seriously, do you know how retarded that sounds? And no, I'm not making fun of mentally disabled. There is a difference. They're making excuses for terrorists. They want us to please them. They want us to bow down to them. That's what these Democrats want us to do. Oh, we shouldn't have moved the embassy, or we shouldn't have said we're moving the embassy over because it upset them. Who gives a flying fuck if we upset them? Dust or something. Who cares if we upset them? I don't give a flying fuck if we upset them. If we hurt their feelings, oh fucking well. Pull your big boy panties on. Take the pacifier out of your mouth. Stop making excuses for these terrorists. And let's start kicking their ass some more. This is how pathetic. I didn't hear these stats till today. When George Bush left office, we were fighting Al-Qaeda. Do you know how many of Al-Qaeda were left when George Bush left? 30. And now how many are back? Because Mr. Barack Hussein Obama decided, let's just ease up on them. We'll play nice. Now they're back in strength. ISIS is on the run. And have you noticed since Trump's taken over, you know, there is a decrease somewhat in their attacks. Why? Because we're kicking their ass. We got them on the defensive. And I've said that for a while. If we take the fight to them, they're not going to be able to have an offensive. Because they're going to be too busy protecting. Well, they pretty much lost all their territories now. Then we need to keep hammering them. Hammer them fucking hard. And just keep going. And that's what Trump's doing. I applaud him for it. But the liberals want us worried about their feelings. That we might upset them. Fuck them. This idiot basically blew himself up. Looks like he might have blown his dick off. Dumbass. So even if you did Get 72 virgins. You blew your dick off, dumbass. I got 72 virgins and nothing to do. And it's saying, I think 4 other people suffered minor injuries, including ringing in the ear and headaches. Pretty minor injuries. Not trying to downplay it, just they're minor injuries. And thank God that they are minor injuries. So, it's could have been worse. And this also, de Blasio did away with the surveillance in New York. And since he's done it, there's been 2 attacks in New York. Way to go, New York. Way to go. So proud of you. What's this flashy light over here? Latest news on the software. Oh, wow. I wonder if it upgraded. I don't know. I'm probably going to have to upgrade that. Do that when I'm not on air or right before going on air. At least, though, Blasio immediately, it was an attempted terrorist attack. You know, we didn't play this bullshit mamby-pamby. We gotta see what's going on. I'm not even gonna take a shot at this jackass's name. Holy shit. Holy shit. You know, it's... We can't let up. The fight is not over. I don't think it'll ever be over with these idiots. We have to keep pushing. Push it. Push it real good. Sorry, that just like popped in my head. I don't need a therapist. I just need to talk to my tattoo artist. Oh yeah, that's definitely. I'm long overdue for one. It's been a while. It's... I don't know. Oh, did anybody catch that Army-Navy football game? What was it, Saturday? Now that was football. Playing in the snow. I think the Buffalo Bills game was like that, too. The players were out there kicking snow around, trying to get space. They had like a foot or something like that on the field. Now that's a football game, not this indoor controlled climate. I don't know. It's... Oh, side note, this boy Keaton Jones, the mother put it up, was videotaping him. He was getting picked on. And he's getting bullied because he has some deformities, looks like. And I think it started with Dana White, president for UFC. And he was like, I want to get in touch with this kid. Did somebody find, get me in touch with the parents. Next thing you know, you have John Teagan. If you don't know John Teagan, I'm going to slap you upside the head. He wants to get in touch with veterans that live in the area of this kid so that they can go help him. This kid, he's getting bullied because of the way he looks. And it's, for number one, I agree with a lot of comments that was put. This kid we need to get some people to train him how to stand up, get a little self-confidence, maybe knock the shit out of one or two of these bullies. Listen, I was bullied myself. Trust me, I was bullied. I used to get my ass kicked every day walking home from school by 3 black guys. I went to school with. The reason why they did it, they thought it was funny. They knew I wasn't going to fight back. I was short and overweight. Yeah, well, I'm overweight now, but back then, I was short. Well, over the summer, grew a few inches, lost a shitload of weight, and came back not taking any shit from anybody. And guess what? I stood up for myself, and they left me the fuck alone. And that's what this kid needs to do. He needs to get taught self-confidence to stand up. I mean, they poured milk on me. He should have stood up and busted their fucking nose right there. I don't agree with bullying of that type, and the only thing that's going to stop a kid from doing that, you break their nose a few times, and... Oh, congratulations, Jenna, on the house. Very happy to hear that. All right, everybody, you're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here. I want to change up commercials. Let's see, which one should we put up? We'll do this one. You're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on SHR Media and HP Pundit Radio. Oh, my God, that was a big brain fart. We'll be right back.
You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
Listening to Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch Reaver of Common Sense show hosted by Jersey Joe right here on shrmedia.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else. So consider this your fair warning.
Hello. I'm Tim Hart. I'm the guy BZ hires, due to his shameless contract with the SHR Media Network, to voice his promos. He'd like me to tell you that the Bloviating Zeppelin's Berserk Bobcat Saloon radio show can be found on SHR Media Network, Spreaker, and YouTube every Tuesday and Thursday night at 11 p.m. Eastern and 8 p.m. Pacific, featuring right thinking from a left brain and doing the job the American media maggots won't. You'll find that the speech is free, but the drinks are not. There, in the saloon, just when safety pin manufacturers are running out of metal for the diapers of the leftists, BZ is sending his personal drones of freedom into the wheelhouses and ossicles of lovers of sovereignty and liberty nationally and globally. Broadcasting behind enemy lines in occupied California, BZ swears that no rights were harmed in the making of this promo.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. You didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean. Dude, I'm not saying Cap for the stupid promo. Sackhead Clint.
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
Also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, cause I'm drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on shrmedia.com.
Hey, it's Sean from the Sackheads Radio Show, also one of the owners here at the SHR Media Network. Are you opinionated? Have you ever wanted to do your own show? Have you ever heard somebody like the Sackheads and go, yeah, I could probably do that better? Well, now's your chance. Send me a 5-minute clip at sackheadsradio@gmail.com, and maybe you can be part of the SHR broadcasting team. sackheadsradio@gmail.com.
This is Jersey Joe, host of the Reaver of Common Sense, and you're listening to SHRmedia.com.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guy. Because truth is not always pleasant.
Human by race, Christian by faith, American by nationality, and conservative by choice. Reverend Ralph J. Chittum Sr. is the right guy on SHR Media from 8:05 to 9 p.m. Monday through Friday. And if on the rare occasion I am ever wrong, I will still always be right. The right guy on SHR Media.
Listening to the SHR Media Network.
Pay no attention to the muffled screams in the background. You are listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on the SHR Media Network. Back to you, Joe.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show. And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. I am your host, Jersey Joe. Oh, boy. Leave it to Sean. Leave it to Sean. Leave it to Sean. Oh. Where are we, by the way? We're talking about the terrorists. I'm telling you, premature bomb detonation. So let's get on to some Trump stuff in these investigations. There's a senior Justice Department official that was demoted last week for concealing his meeting with the men behind the anti-Trump dossier. Had even closer ties to the Fusion GPS firm, the firm responsible for that disgusting, false, incendiary document that have been disclosed. The official's wife worked for Fusion GPS during the 2016 election. Okay, what they're going to do is, years from now, they're going to study everything that happened with this. And what they're going to do is they're going to show this is how you do not run a special investigation into a political figure. You do not load it up with the persons when you know the people are 100% against him. That senior Justice Department, that lawyer, number one, It had met with Fusion GPS. The wife worked for Fusion GPS. Right there. Throws that idiot right out. But no. You have the FBI agent that was removed. And all this Mueller has kept quiet. Out of all the leaks that happened. This shows that those leaks are being done on purpose to try to hurt Trump. Because this wasn't to hurt Trump if this was leaked out. And he hid it. And he hid it from Congress. And if I was a Republican congressman, I'd be pissed off and mandating that he step down immediately and that we appoint someone else to come in. And why? Because you just made me look like an asshole. We appoint you, and you go and assemble a lynch mob. And then when you know you got some people that are biased beyond a shadow of a doubt, You remove them, and then you get all... It doesn't matter what the findings of this fucking commission are. So far, they have 2 indictments. 3. 2? Whatever. And none of them have to do with Trump colluding with Russia. This is shit that happened way before Trump or after he got elected. None of it has to deal with the campaign. None of it. That's what I find funny. This man comes out of retirement to run a special investigation into Trump colluding with Russia to win the election, which technically isn't against the law. Maybe immoral, maybe un-American, but it's not illegal. And the only thing they can find so far is some business dealings. And with Manafort, what really is disgusting is other people have been caught doing the exact same thing, and they're told, go file to be a foreign agent. Okay, we go do that. All right, we're not going to pursue this. Now all of a sudden it's, oh, no, we're gonna charge you. And you have Flynn, who lied to the FBI. Okay. How is he being charged? Hillary Clinton's not. And a dozen other Democrats that have lied to FBI repeatedly, not charged. Oh, methinks there's a double standard here going on. Methinks something smells in Denmark, and it's not the fish. But it makes me wonder some of this because it's really putting a spotlight on certain things. And I had done an article weeks ago on the show here where the author writes that this is a setup between Trump and Mueller. And what I mean by that is that Trump had met with Mueller the day before he was announced to be the head of the special investigation. Some are saying that Trump knew and it worked with Mueller, and that they are doing this to out the swamp. That they're out to show the corruption that is in the FBI and how political it has become in there. What a better way than make an investigation look like it's into Trump and start finding other stuff. And I love anytime MSNBC, CBS, any of the mainstream media, we have a breaking story on Trump. Trump did so-and-so according to an unnamed source. I go, oh, not believing it. Not believing it. How many times has it come up that it's full of shit, that it's a fake story, exaggerated, outright lie? You know, I truly think on most of these stories, and I've said it before and I'll say it again, you got those journalists sitting there going, we got to come up with a story. Well, how would it sound if one of Trump's foreign banks, let's say in Deutsche, whatever, was given a subpoena for Trump's bank records? Now, we know we got the some other people that are surrounding Trump. So what if we said that? Well, another guy said, well, we can't say that. We don't have no proof. Where's the proof? The other guy's going, anonymous source told us. Because we don't have to give up anonymous sources because we are protected under freedom of speech and so forth. Freedom of the press. You know, oh, yeah. Well, how about we do a story that Trump drinks Diet Cokes all day, an unhealthy amount. The guy, well, again, how do we know? An unnamed source. Yeah. Well, what if they can't ask us? Shut up, you noob. They can't ask us who it is. So we can write whatever we want. I think that's exactly what's going on. That they're creating these bullshit stories, putting them out there going, an anonymous source. Oh, wait a minute. All right. Anonymous source didn't work on the last one. 3 anonymous sources told us. Oh, that one didn't work. And I watched one day, and it was CNN, I think it was, came out with like bullshit story after bullshit story, back to back to back. And it was like the one day was like, an anonymous source has told us. Oh, they didn't believe that. 3 anonymous sources. Shit, they stole 8 anonymous sources. And I was like, how far are you going to go up? I would love for them to go, okay, here's our anonymous sources. I'd love for the Justice Department to go, you know what? We're going to give immunity. We're not going to prosecute this one time who the anonymous source is. They're not going to lose their job. No repercussions. We're calling you out. Show us who the anonymous source is. We'll even give them a medal and a raise. We can't do that. Because there is no anonymous sources. You're going to hear some noise. I got to open a program up. And I know it's going to make a lot of noise. I don't want it to, but I forgot to download something like a dumbass. Oh. Melanie sent me a new... Told you. Ouch. She sent me a new... Money Matters. Money Talk. Something like that. Money Talks with Donnie. Let's see. This was said. Alright. I forgot to download it like a dumbass. So we're going to play this in a moment. And then we're going to go to break on it. It's... I know, seriously, yeah, it's really getting tiresome with these accusations. But this whole... And it started with that whole... the Trump investigation. It's so one-sided. And now you got Democrats. See, they're trying to undermine the investigation by saying, no. We're pointing out that this is a lynch mob set up with a bunch of Hillary donors and Hillary kiss asses. It's not undermining, it's pointing out the truth. You're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio. And this is Melanie Money Talks Minutes with Melanie. And we will be right back.
Welcome to this week's Money Talk Minute with your business diva, Melanie Collette. This week's Money Talk Minute talks about how to improve your financial life by reading blogs. There are 3 blogs that I'd like you to check out to improve your financial life. One is called Money Under 30. Money Under 30 can be a little misleading by the title because the information is really good for people of all ages. It talks about stuff like how to buy a car, budgeting tips, how to get a loan, and anything in between when it comes to personal finance. Another blog that I'd like you to check out is called Get Rich Slowly. Now, Get Rich Slowly focuses on how to build your wealth over time. The layout is really simplistic, and they really place a premium on high-quality content in all things related to personal finance. Finally, I would like you couples to check out Frugal Woods. Frugal Woods documents a young couple's path to financial freedom and wealth through a frugal lifestyle. Now they're living on a multi-acre plot of land in rural Vermont. The pictures are gorgeous, and there are personal stories that will teach you how to manage your personal finance. That is this week's Money Talk Minute. I'm your business diva, Melanie Collette. Please be sure to check out Money Talk with Melanie Monday through Friday at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and 2 p.m. on the West Coast here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Talk Radio. Remember, this is important because, after all, it is your money.
You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
You have been listening to Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch Reaver of Common Sense show hosted by Jersey Joe right here on shrmedia.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else. So consider this your fair warning.
Hello, I'm Tim Hart. I'm the guy BZ hires, due to his shameless contract with the SHR Media Network, to voice his promos. He'd like me to tell you that the bloviating Zeppelin's Berserk Bobcat Saloon radio show can be found on SHR Media Network, Spreaker, and YouTube every Tuesday and Thursday night at 11 p.m. Eastern and 8 p.m. Pacific, featuring right thinking from a left brain and doing the job the American media maggots won't. You'll find that the speech is free, but the drinks are not. There, in the saloon, just when safety pin manufacturers are running out of metal for the diapers of the leftists, BZ is sending his personal drones of freedom into the wheelhouses and ossicles of lovers of sovereignty and liberty nationally and globally. Broadcasting behind enemy lines in occupied California, BZ swears that no rights were harmed in the making of this promo.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. You didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean.
Dude, I'm not saying cow for the stupid promo.
Sackhead Clint.
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
Also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, I'm a little bit drunk, 'cause I'm drinking, drinking, drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on shrmedia.com.
Hey, it's Sean from the Sackheads Radio Show, also one of the owners here at the SHR Media Network. Are you opinionated? Have you ever wanted to do your own show? Have you ever heard somebody like the Sackheads and go, yeah, I could probably do that better? Well, now's your chance. Send me a 5-minute clip at sackheadsradio@gmail.com, and maybe you can be part of the SHR broadcasting team. sackheadsradio@gmail.com.
This is Jersey Joe, host of the Reaver of Common Sense, and you're listening to SHRmedia.com.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guy. Because truth is not always pleasant.
Human by race, Christian by faith, American by nationality, and conservative by choice. Reverend Ralph J. Chittum Sr. is the right guy on SHR Media from 8:05 to 9 p.m. Monday through Friday. And if on the rare occasion I am ever wrong, I will still always be right. The right guy on SHR Media.
Listening to the SHR Media Network.
You're listening. Contact is the
Now back to Reaver of Common Sense with Jersey Joe.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show. And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. I am your host, Jersey Joe, and I'm here to make sense. So I just came across an article that actually makes me giddy. Trump to sign directive to send Americans back to the moon, eventually to Mars. I'm very much for NASA and space exploration. I was pissed when dumbass Barack Hussein Obama pretty much deballed and dismantled NASA. Turned him into a global warming political front. So I'm glad to see Trump doing what NASA, sending NASA back to what they do, space. Obama set us back, God knows how many decades with his bullshit. We had a good, and you know what? You want to talk about collusion with Russia? How about Obama dismantled our space program, had us going to Russia and paying for a seat on a Russian rocket that was very questionable at several million to billions of dollars for us to get back to the International Space Station. What dumbass dismantles your space program with nothing in the background ready to go when you still need to go up there? He could have left things alone, let it ride. He could have scaled back NASA. No, he dismantled and deballed. So President Trump on Monday is expected to sign a directive meant to send American astronauts back to the moon, which they've been talking about they need to. And if they go to the moon, they set up a colony on the moon. They can then launch from the moon, which will be easier to get to Mars from the moon than Earth. But they need to set up a colony of some sort of base station on the moon for this to happen. A White House schedule for Trump includes a 3 p.m. signing ceremony for Space Policy Directive 1. The directive orders NASA to lead an innovative space exploration program to send American astronauts back to the moon and eventually Mars. It's added that Trump's decision is based on recommendation from the National Space Council, which is chaired by Vice President Pence. The council, created in 1989 under President George H.W. Bush, dismantled in 1993, but reestablished by Trump in June, met for its first meeting October 5th. During the meeting, Pence announced that the United States will return American astronauts to the moon, not only to leave behind footprints and flags, but to build a foundation we need to send Americans to Mars and beyond. There is another space race going on that Obama fucked us out of.
You have China, Russia, and several other countries that are trying to get back to the moon. For number one, there is supplies that we could mine from the moon and use on Earth. There is ways to make fuel on the moon from stuff on the moon that will help us launch a craft to get to Mars. And it'll be quicker from moon to the Mars. Because you have... I ain't going to get into it because I may not explain it correctly. I can't wait. Because the one thing I miss, I know it sounds stupid, is I got to go out my front door several times. Walk out my front door. Now, I'm on the west coast of Florida. Pretty much almost due east from the Kennedy Space Center. A little south, okay? I could walk out, and when the shuttle was going off, I could watch it launch from my house. Watch it come over the horizon. Turn. But because of Obama, nope. Now, I know they're getting ready to decommission the shuttles. I understand that. The project that they had up the bat to replace it, after billions of dollars were spent designing this, Dum-Dum walks in and goes, nope, we're not going to do it. That's done. Billions of dollars wasted. And then he goes, okay, go back to the drawing board. We're going to find something else to launch up. So his bright idea is, let's go back to the 1960s rockets. So I wonder how far off they are to bring back that spacecraft, I forget what it was called, that was going to replace the shuttle. Put that back and get that going again. Because Dum-Dum wasted so much goddamn money. He did it, and it's going to cost us some money to get everything going again. Because they've been dismantling part of the Kennedy Space Center. You know what pissed me off, I found out? Kennedy Space Center, for the visitor sections. It's a federal lands and all that. It's owned by a German company. German company is the one that deals with all the tourists. Who the fuck sold part of Kennedy Space Center to the Germans for them to run a tourist program of an American historical site? Leave it to political figures to do something fucking stupid. Well, it has nothing to do with that. I just noticed the cup I had in my hand. So, it was the statement was echoed by Gidley, who is somebody within NASA or this that council. A similar statement that Trump will change our nation's human spaceflight policy to help Americans become the driving force for the space industry, gain new knowledge from the cosmos, and spur incredible technology. Do you know what technology we have because of the space race that we did? You'll be amazed. Velcro came from NASA. No, we're not going to get into whether we actually went to the moon. It was all faked. I ain't getting into that. NASA developed a lot of stuff. Those, the memory foam that we use for our beds that everybody loves so much, and pillows, and that was from NASA. You know, there's a lot of things that came from NASA that were developed for space that is now used in our everyday life. Trump's space policy would replace Barack Hussein Obama, which was enacted in 2010. It did not include a goal to return to the moon. Obama's policy focused instead on sending astronauts beyond the moon to deep space and potentially an asteroid by 2025 and to orbit Mars by the mid-2030s. Monday also marks the anniversary of Apollo 17's mission in 1972, the last human voyage to the moon. I know some people got tired of that, but let me tell you, I think if they would have kept going to the moon exploring the moon. Just how far advanced will we be? I know some people got bored with it. Oh, it's boring. Boring. But they didn't look at the long-term effects. So, I'm glad to see that. I'm glad to see that we're going to be going back. And I'm sure there's going to be liberals that are crying over this. They'll find something negative to say about it. I don't know. They always do. No matter what Trump does, they're going to bitch and moan. He can cure cancer. Oh. God damn it, I can't wait till this damn game comes out. It's called Pantheon. Rise of the Fallen. It's by the creators that made EverQuest. And I love games. I don't play as much anymore, but I love games. I love EverQuest. That was like my first big game that I got into. And he didn't like the games that are out there, because games, even World of Warcraft, I played it, I liked it, but it's too damn easy. Everything's handed to players nowadays. You know, EverQuest, you go on this adventure for your epic weapon, and it took sometimes up to a year to get that done. And you had players that cried about it. It's too hard. That's what made it an epic weapon. You know, that work, that year, all the stuff you had to do. So this new game he's developing, he said that it's not for all these players. What it's for is it's the old school players. Ones that don't mind doing a quest that's going to take a week or two. It's going to take a month to do something. You know, it's the camaraderie. You got to work together to get stuff done. It's going back to old school rules. And he knows it's not going to be huge. And he's okay with that. The guy's made his money. He's built 2 games that Sony ended up buying from him. Hey, so it is what it is. And I can't wait, but it's still got like another year or two. And I know I don't watch a lot of football. I really don't. But I'm an Eagles fan. I'm a Philadelphia fan. And the Eagles have been doing great this year. My Flyers aren't doing that great. They're in somewhat of a rebuild, if you want to call it that. And last night they're playing. If they win the game, the Eagles win last night, they clinch the division. They become division champions. Well, they won, but it cost them their starting quarterback. Blew out his ACL. Fuck, he's gone for the rest of the year. They got a 11-2 season. Go on. No offense to the backup, Nick Foles, but he's not going to be able to run the offense like Carson Wentz did. So our dreams just went down in ashes. Shit. Oh, let's see what else. I'm just looking at the trending on Facebook. It's always funny to look at. I don't know. It is... It is what it is. But, damn, what are we... I totally lost track of where I'm at. Real quick, the reporter from the New Yorker has severed ties with star reporter Ryan Liza. I'm messing up the last name. Ryan emerged as a household name last summer after he recorded a phone call with then White House Communication Director Anthony Scaramucci, who went off on a profanity-laced tirade. Remember that reporter? Well, he's been fired, and CNN has pulled him off the air, and the New Yorker has fired him. because he's being reported or accused of sexual misconduct. And it's funny how karma has reached around and bit that idiot right in the ass. White House communication. It just... And I'm looking at something real quick. Yeah, Jenna just posted. It's been happening all over. There was a protest at the White House the other day of a bunch of Muslims that were protesting Trump's decision to move the embassy to Jerusalem. Fuck off. That's all I got. You know, it's a bunch of shit. Democrats have been saying it for years that it needs to be done. Nancy Pelosi put forth a bill. She was co-sponsor of a bill that would recognize Jerusalem as the capital of Israel and move the embassy there. Several years ago she did this. Now that the Democrats don't think it's popular, now it's, oh my God! You know, now that a president actually went through with it and kept his promise. Have you noticed that Trump has been keeping his campaign promises? Not everything has passed, but he's been pushing and he's been trying. The wall, not done when he wanted to, but they're started on it. National concealed weapons reciprocation passed through the House, going on to the Senate. Tax reform. He's pushed for repeal of Obamacare. He said he would move the embassy to Jerusalem. Not everything has passed so far, but he's been pushing everything that he promised during his campaign. What other president can you say has done that? I can't think of a single president. So, we're going to get on to that more right after these little commercial. Where are we? You're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on SHR Media and HB Pundit, and we will be right back.
You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
Listening to Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch Reaver of Common Sense show hosted by Jersey Joe right here on shrmedia.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else. So consider this your fair warning.
Hello, I'm I'm Tim Hart. I'm the guy BZ hires, due to his shameless contract with the SHR Media Network, to voice his promos. He'd like me to tell you that the bloviating Zeppelin's Berserk Bobcat Saloon radio show can be found on SHR Media Network, Spreaker, and YouTube every Tuesday and Thursday night at 11 p.m. Eastern and 8 p.m. Pacific, featuring right thinking from a left brain and doing the job the American media maggots won't. You'll find that the speech is free, but the drinks are not. There, in the saloon, just when safety pin manufacturers are running out of metal for the diapers of the leftists, BZ is sending his personal drones of freedom into the wheelhouses and ossicles of lovers of sovereignty and liberty nationally and globally. Broadcasting behind enemy lines in occupied California, BZ swears that no rights were harmed in the making of this promo.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. You didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean.
Dude, I'm not saying cop for the stupid promo.
Sackhead Clint.
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
Also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, I'm a little bit drunk, 'cause I'm drinking, drinking, drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on SHRmedia.com.
Hey, it's Sean from the Sackheads Radio Show, also one of the owners here at the SHR Media Network. Are you opinionated? Have you ever wanted to do your own show? Have you ever heard somebody like the Sackheads and go, yeah, I could probably do that better? Well, now's your chance. Send me a 5-minute clip at sackheadsradio@gmail.com, and maybe you can be part of the SHR broadcasting team. sackheadsradio@gmail.com.
This is Jersey Joe, host of the Reaver of Common Sense, and you're listening to SHRmedia.com.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guy. Because truth is not always present.
Human by race, Christian by faith, American by nationality, and conservative by choice. Reverend Ralph J. Chittum Sr. is the right guy on SHR Media from 8:05 to 9 p.m. Monday through Friday. And if on the rare occasion I am ever wrong, I will still always be right. The right guy on SHR Media.
Listening to the SHR Media Network.
You're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense here on the SHR Media Network. Hey, Sean, you ever see a one-eared elephant?
No.
Check this out.
Oh, that's so tiny.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show. And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. I am your host, Jersey Joe, and I'm here to make sense out of the senseless. So, I had to find it funny. When you're a parent, you'll understand this. If you don't have a kid yet, you may not understand. You always look at your kid as a young kid. You never, realize how mature they're getting. So this may seem not funny to anybody else, but it does to me. And my sister-in-law, I think, also picked up on it when I talked to her about it.
As I told a lot of you, the listeners, especially when he graduated from boot camp, how proud I am of my nephew. And he graduated from Army boot camp not too long ago. I forget what it's called. He's now in his training for his mode of operation or something like that. And he gets to come home for Christmas, actually. And my daughter was asking me the other day, and it's like, when did Sean come home? When did Sean come home? I said, December 18th, honey. Now, my daughter and Sean, my nephew, have always been close. You know, he's what, 18, 19 when he left for boot camp. And he would still be the one that would be sitting with my daughter playing with her all the time. Since they were kids, he always made sure to give my daughter attention. And, you know, I respect my nephew for that. And so they're close. And I was talking to my sister-in-law. I was like, yeah, she's got it marked on the calendar when he comes home. You know, and it gave a good laugh. She wants him to show up at her school because she's still in school to December 22nd, which is Friday. She wants him to show up in uniform to come pick her up so she can show him off. She's that proud of him. She don't. Funny thing is, she does not give a rat's ass what other people think. Now, she's had his speech issues for the longest time, and she's not a big deal. When she gets excited, you can tell she has a speech issue. People have picked on her. She does not give a shit. She just, yeah, whatever, and goes on. You know, she's had other kids stick up for her and step in, but she's kind of I'm always ragging on her. Oh, am I always ragging on her? And jokingly, we play. I mean, I'm always joking with her, busting on her. And if she could take me busting on her, these kids are nothing to her. You know, so the kids, she had recently, she was a little upset. And I talked to her about it, to deal with it. Her and this one kid, they have a class together, and they get along. And he's a boy. They get along. Now, he's actually 12 years old, but he's in the 8th grade. My daughter's 14th in the 7th grade. And she's always been somebody that reaches out to younger kids, anybody, and she tries to make friends with everybody. So she's being friends with this kid who's probably getting picked on himself. So there's some people that are, their boyfriend, girlfriend. She came home pissed off. Just saying we're boyfriend, girlfriend. I am not dating him. I was like, all right, Jordan, number one, calm down. Kids do that. They're trying to get under your skin. I said, what did I tell you to do? Just ignore them. Yep. Don't even acknowledge them. Just walk away from it. I said, you're going to piss them off even more, honey. Just try. And she's like, yeah, you're right. But it's... How did I go off on that? That's weird how I got on that subject. So, yeah, she's just hoping. She can't wait. And, you know, I've already talked to him, and he's going to make sure that he finds time to come see her. And I know he will. I trust him. But we're all proud of him. I think he's got more supporters than he realizes. There's people that I know through the show who said things to me for him. And one of my best friends comes from a military family, so he's very supportive. And, you know, we're all proud of him. He did something that I did not do. I should have. He did something that his father couldn't do also. He has accomplished something that's so great, and I don't think he realizes it yet. So, if you're listening, buddy, I'm proud of you, and keep up the good work. Let's see, where are we now? I'm so off the... Oh, I was talking about the national reciprocity for concealed carry. And if you don't know what that is, it basically turned... Like, I have a concealed carry here in Florida. Now, if I go back home to New Jersey to visit, I cannot carry, because New Jersey's an asshole state that is anti-Second Amendment and anti-helping people to make sure that they're kept safe. So they don't recognize my concealed carry. They recognize my driver's license, but they don't recognize my concealed carry. Well, what this bill does, that Trump had talked about, is it makes it a federal level that my concealed carry would be recognized nationally. So it means if I want to go back home to New Jersey, I can carry my handgun with me and concealed carry wherever I go. Well, besides, I couldn't carry on the plane. You know, I can't carry in a court. There's still areas I can't. But it would mean that every state would have to accept my concealed carry and allow me to carry. Now, 24 state attorney generals call Congress and tell them that they want the national reciprocity for concealed carry to pass. Because now what it is like Florida has to actually keep up to date with the other states. If a state does not recognize Florida's concealed carry, Florida does not recognize theirs. So it's a constantly changing it's ever changing, and if you're not up to the minute on the laws, you can get jammed up ever so easily. I mean, you had the case in a couple of years ago. A woman's being threatened, and she lived in Pennsylvania. She had to go into New Jersey. She had her kids with her. She didn't feel safe. She had her gun with her. She got pulled over. She wasn't doing anything illegal. They found the gun on her. They arrested her, took her kids from her, destroyed her whole fucking life. Why? Because she crossed that line. And for some reason, her constitutional right to carry in Pennsylvania did not carry over into New Jersey. New Jersey said, we're not recognizing your constitutional right. So now we have this bill that's going to go to the Senate. And it should be that simple, that my concealed carry is treated the same as a driver's license. I don't see no fucking permit for freedom of speech. I don't have to go out and get a concealed permit for my freedom of speech. That's not recognized by New Jersey, or it's not recognized by California or New York. I think that's the only right we have, our constitutional right, that I need to get permission for. Does that make sense to anybody? And I understand there's some people like, we shouldn't have to pass this law. You know what? It's one step in the right direction. You can't expect to go from A to Z right off the bat. Because people here in Florida, they're trying to get open carry. I think it's easier, better. It's not this big national crisis that some drama queens like to make it. But you can't. So they're pushing for that, and you have some people that are jumping on it. Well, it's my constitutional rights. We should just recognize constitutional carry and leave it at that. I'm like, you can't do that. Why not? Because the left would totally blow up and stop everything. So just as they do, we have to take steps. You got to take baby steps with this. No, we don't. Stop. You got to take baby steps. Stop. Take baby steps. We go from concealed carry to a national concealed carry recognition system. And do you know why states like California, New York, New Jersey don't want it passed? It's not the fact that I'd be able to carry my gun into New Jersey. Because there's certain states, I think it's Utah's one of them. You take an online class and you apply in Utah for a concealed carry permit, even though you live out of state, and they'll issue a concealed carry permit from Utah, which then would allow you to carry in your own state that you live in. If it, like New Jersey, getting a permit is like next to impossible, California, New York. So it would allow everyday citizens to carry because it's nationally recognized. So they're Utah, even though they live in another state, they would have to recognize it. So their laws would become moot. And New Jersey, with them electing a new Democrat governor who's going to take over after the first of the year, and already said he's got a line of anti-gun bills they're going to sign in immediately. So this would be perfect. This would be a big fuck you to New Jersey and your anti-gun, anti-constitution, liberal agenda. I'm hoping it passed the House. The Senate is the big one. You got some real turncoats in the Republican Party in the Senate that just McCain. I forget the other douchebags. So, all right, from that we're going to hit a break. I'm going to play Money Talks Melanie Minute, and then we're going to go to break. So, you're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio, and we will be right back.
Welcome to this week's Money Talk Minute with your business diva, Melanie Collette. This week's Money Talk Minute talks about how to improve your financial life by reading blogs. There are 3 blogs that I'd like you to check out to improve your financial life. One is called Money Under 30. Money Under 30 can be a little misleading by the title because the information is really good for people of all ages. It talks about stuff like how to buy a car, budgeting tips, how to get a loan, and anything in between when it comes to personal finance. Another blog that I'd like you to check out is called Get Rich Slowly. Now, Get Rich Slowly focuses on how to build your wealth over time. The layout is really simplistic, and they really place a premium on high-quality content in all things related to personal finance. Finally, I would like you couples to check out Frugal Woods. Frugal Woods documents a young couple's path to financial freedom and wealth through a frugal lifestyle. Now they're living on a multi-acre plot of land in rural Vermont. The pictures are gorgeous, and they're personal stories that will teach you how to manage your personal finance. That is this week's Money Talk Minute. I'm your business diva, Melanie Collette. Please be sure to check out Money Talk with Melanie Monday through Friday at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and 2 p.m. on the West Coast here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Talk Radio. Remember, this is important because, after all, it is your money.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
Listening to Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch Reaver of Common Sense show hosted by Jersey Joe right here on shrmedia.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else. So consider this your fair warning.
Hello, I'm Tim Hart. I'm the guy BZ hires, due to his shameless contract with the SHR Media Network, to voice his promos. He'd like me to tell you that the bloviating Zeppelin's Berserk Bobcat Saloon radio show can be found on SHR Media Network, Spreaker, and YouTube every Tuesday and Thursday night at 11 p.m. Eastern and 8 p.m. Pacific, featuring right thinking from a left brain and doing the job the American media maggots won't. You'll find that the speech is free, but the drinks are not. There, in the saloon, just when safety pin manufacturers are running out of metal for the diapers of the leftists, BZ is sending his personal drones of freedom into the wheelhouses and ossicles of lovers of sovereignty and liberty nationally and globally. Broadcasting behind enemy lines in occupied California, BZ swears that no rights were harmed in the making of this promo.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. That you didn't build that.
A team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean.
Dude, I'm not saying cap for the stupid promo.
Sackhead Clint.
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
Also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, I'm a little bit drunk, 'cause I'm drinking, drinking, drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on shrmedia.com.
Hey, it's Sean from the Sackheads Radio Show, also one of the owners here at the SHR Media Network. Are you opinionated? Have you ever wanted to do your own show? Have you ever heard somebody like the Sackheads and go, yeah, I could probably do that better? Well, now's your chance. Send me a 5-minute clip at sackheadsradio@gmail.com, and maybe you can be part of the SHR broadcasting team. sackheadsradio@gmail.com.
This is Jersey Joe, host of the Reaver of Common Sense, and you're listening to shrmedia.com.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guy. Because truth is not always present.
Human by race, Christian by faith, American by nationality, and conservative by choice. Reverend Ralph J. Chittum Sr. is the right guy on SHR Media from 8:05 to 9 p.m. Monday through Friday. And if on the rare occasion I am ever wrong, I will still always be right. The right guy on SHR Media.
Listening to the SHR Media Network.
You're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense here on the SHR Media Network. Hey, Sean, you ever see a one-eared elephant?
No.
Check this out.
Oh, that's so tiny.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show.
And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. I'm your host, Jersey Joe, and I'm here to make sense out of the senseless. So, with that, I said 24 states attorney generals contacted Congress about that bill. And those states are Alabama, Arizona, Arkansas, Florida, Georgia, Idaho, Indiana, Kansas, Louisiana, Michigan, Missouri, Montana, Nebraska, Nevada, North Dakota, Ohio, Oklahoma, South Carolina, South Dakota, Texas, Utah, West Virginia, Wisconsin, and Wyoming. Now you have gun control lobby member Gabby Gifford posted during the October 1st Las Vegas attack as a reason to oppose national reciprocity. How that equates that some nut job's going to go up into a hotel room, sneak weapons in, large caliber long rifles, what that has to do with concealed carry, beyond me. She also suggested that a bill that allowed law-abiding citizens to keep their guns with them would more often will weaken our public safety. So people being able to defend themselves will weaken our safety. Our ability to fight back against criminals will weaken our public safeties. These people are mentally deranged. I'll tell you. So CNN also is saying that Trump is bullying Don Lemon for attacking him over fake news. Oh, and Jim Acosta said, mistakes happen. No, these are not mistakes that are happening, you jackass, you amoeba, you window-licking, helmet-wearing, peanut-brain asshole. You know that you're doing it on purpose. You're trying to undermine them. You're purposely putting out fake fucking news. And here's a quick. Comey's testimony. CNN ran a story on June 6th that claimed former FBI Director James Comey would use his testimony the next day to refute President Donald Trump's claim that Comey had assured him 3 separate times that he was not under FBI investigation. They said, oh, no, Comey's going to go out there and say, no, he was under investigation. And what happened? Comey went out there and said, Trump was never underneath FBI investigation. Which leads me to a question. How can you have obstruction of justice by the president for firing Comey when they were never investigating Trump to begin with? There was no investigation. That was the whole thing. He's being investigated by Comey, FBI, and he fires Comey. Comey came out and said that they were not investigating, hence there's no fucking obstruction of justice. CNN smears Scaramucci. Later that month, CNN.com published, deleted, and then retracted and apologized for an article that claimed Trump advisor Anthony Scaramucci was the subject of a Senate investigation for his ties to Russian bankers. CNN spreads fake news about fake news. CNN was one of several establishment media outlets to spread fake news about a new study on Russian influence efforts in the United States. CNN studied the study from the Oxford Internet Institute to show that a fake news targeted swing states during election week. But the study didn't show that, as the Daily Caller first reported. The study focused on junk news, not fake news, and deliberately included conservative outlets like the Washington Examiner and Breitbart News in their definition of fake news. CNN and other outlets included none of those facts, portraying a misleading picture to the public. This Russian dossier, this Christopher Steele dossier, the Fusion GPS dossier, they spread that a Republican donor funded it. That ended up was wrong. The fake fish news, where they edited video of Trump feeding fish and said, look how lazy he is. He's just dumping the fish food into the fish, which he was following suit exactly what the Prime Minister of Japan did. You feed him a little bit, then you dump it in. It was some ceremony that's done. Trump did what the ceremony told him to do, and CNN went and edited, and other outlets went and edited the video to make it look like Trump just dumped it in. But no, they don't do this on purpose. Editing the video to misrepresent the facts is an accident. They also edited comments that he made about the Japanese car market to make it sound like he didn't know that Japanese were making cars in the United States. That, I see how that was an accident when you purposely edit footage to misrepresent the facts. And then there was the bombshell on Friday when it was reported that Donald Trump Jr. and the Trump campaign had received advance access to stolen emails published by WikiLeaks. The network hyped the story as a bombshell for most of the day before the DC's Chuck Ross debunked it, revealing several serious errors with the story. One was the date. The date at which they said that Trump Jr. was notified. It was before it went public. They were given an advance knowledge. No. You fucked up the date, and it was the same day it went public. They were emailed the same day it went public. They did not get an advance knowledge. No nothing. They got it the same day everybody else did. And it's not picking on bullying when you're pointing out the truth and facts about what CNN is doing. The purpose, the intentional misrepresentation of facts to try to smear somebody is not bullying. What CNN is doing is trying to bully Trump and America into submitting to their un-American bullshit standards. Then they hide it. You're bullying us. No, we're pointing out how fucked up you are and how stupid you look. So, Nikki Haley is standing up to the UN. The U.S. pulled out of a global pact on migration and refugees Saturday, informing the United Nations that it will make decisions independently about who is allowed to come into the United States. The U.S. will no longer participate in the Global Compact on Migration as a result of the New York Declaration for Refugees and Migrants, which was unanimously adopted last year as a non-binding agreement to protect the rights of refugees, help them resettle, and facilitate access to education and employment, according to Voice of America. President Donald Trump's administration has expressed concern, suggesting that the accord poses a threat to U.S. national security. Our decisions on immigration policy must always be made by Americans and Americans alone, U.S. Ambassador to the UN Nikki Haley said Saturday. We will decide how best to control our borders and who will be allowed to enter our country. Secretary of State Rex Tillerson asserted Sunday that the agreement was based on a declaration that contained a number of policy goals that are inconsistent with U.S. law and policy, adding, "We simply cannot in good faith support a process that could undermine the sovereignty rights of the United States to enforce our immigration laws and secure our borders." So basically, Obama and his fucking cronies tried to sign on to an accord that would undermine our immigration rights. Surprise, surprise, surprise. Anybody else surprised? Because I sure as hell am not surprised. Where are we? I'm so lost right now. I can't find something. There it is, right in front of my face. Oh, alright, everybody, let's get to the end of the show. I'll be back tomorrow as long as my internet allows me to. And with that, I'm going to say have a great night to everybody. And see you tomorrow.
You've been listening to the Reaver of Common Sense with its host, Jersey Joe. You can tune in every day, Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on hppundit.com and shrmedia.com.